Hi there. What's poppin'? Hey D. Come on guys, let's get in. It's going to be a good video tonight. I can feel it. I'm looking at the names that are popping in fast and furious. It's some interesting people. What's up, Nuts? Trish, what's going on? I see you. Good evening, my dear. I hope you're working on what we spoke about. Because I put it into my calendar, so I'm holding you to it because you promised. So we'll see. Christine, I'm sure you're going to remain up. I'll check and see at the end of the video if you're going to be up. But trust me, you're going to be up. No doubt. I'm not going to let you fall asleep. It's interesting. I hope the other ladies are seeing what you're saying. Huh? You have gym at 5 a.m. Okay? See, Christina's 2 children and that body is still popping. I was surprised to see her the man. Body still popping. Still a hottie. Still a hot reds. 2 children. And look, gym at 5 a.m. She's not playing, guys. Exactly. You see, a lot of people are going to find excuses to many reasons why they can't go to the gym. But I'm glad that you're going. I'm glad that you have 2 children. And there's no sign really of you having any children from how I knew you before children. And I'm glad that you're identifying what steps you have put in place to ensure that you get it in. You know, you go in the gym, you spend an hour and a half, and you get back home, make breakfast for your family. No doubt. I hope people see it, no? I know a lot of women have no kids, and it's a sad tale. By the way, Trisha have also gotten in shape. Trisha, when I met Trisha probably was about 25, 30 pounds heavier than she is now. Now Trisha has some serious stature, man. Killing it in the gym also. So I'm glad that there's some kind of impact. Finishing the call. Okay. So let's get into it now. You see the post I put up. I put up an image that really identifies what actually happens in relationships, because I know a lot of you women do not look at the flip side of what you say when you say that. So what actually happens is, no problem, Trish. What actually happens is, a woman says to me, and this was said to me up to this morning, she's only going to submit to a man that she thinks is worthy. Now, that's a loaded statement. And the thing is, so many women are saying that. And it's something that they've heard someone say. You know? Now, let's look at all the intricacies of that statement. Because I want to show you, and I keep saying all the time, that women really hurt themselves. Like really hurt themselves badly. So, let's look at the intricacies of that statement. So, first thing is, she's only going to submit to a man that is worthy. First question is she worthy for a man to lead her? Because the amount of, when I evaluate the woman who says that that statement to me, I mean, it's crazy. The strange thing is, though, I know some highly attractive women, and I've never heard them make those statements. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and Raquel, I'm going to try to go light on you because you're indicating that you are one of those people that make those statements. And it's a statement that you should stay away from. Like, really stay away from. Right? So what happens is that most women are not worthy of a man, a husband. So most women are not wives. Okay? So let me explain it to you guys very early. If a woman is not capable of submitting, it clearly means that she is also not feminine. If she's not feminine, it means that she's not worthy to be a wife. And if she's not worthy to be a wife, it means that no man should take God to their thoughts and marry her. I hope I make sense. I could easily repeat it. A woman must always understand that submission is a feminine trait. If she's not able to submit, it means she's not feminine. If she's not feminine, it means that when men interact with her, guys, let me tell you something. You see those radio stations that you see we turn on and we hear radio playing, and I said many times, you've heard a song playing, and you're singing a song, and then you go into a vehicle, and then you see that, wait now, this song is actually playing on the exact same station, on a station on your car. That is not by choice. It means that you were thinking on a particular frequency. It is what happens to a guy or a woman if they move from being a manager to a CEO. It is what happens to a person who is an entrepreneur and they have to excel in their business. Yeah, Raquel, you're a man. And I told you, you're saying it, so I'm not the one that's going to say it. You are saying it. So, you see the post I put up for this ad, showing that the woman is the one that is holding down the guy, holding down the man. Because if a woman is saying, because most of the times as well, the women that I hear say that, like 50% of them are actually in relationships at the time. And then those who have come out of relationship must understand why. If you're in a relationship with a guy and you're saying that only how you could submit to a guy is if he's worthy, it means that you're not submitting, so it means also that you're leading that relationship. And if you're leading that relationship, it means that that's chaos. It means that you're the masculine figure in that relationship. It means that he's turned off by you. And you have a problem. That relationship is, one, not going to last because he's going to retract. Two, you're going to get turned off and you're going to ask to exit the relationship. Or three, you both will be unhealthy. You both will be under heavy stress. And this happens most times if you're in a relationship where it's a business deal or a business transaction where both of you own a home or vehicles and stuff and you can't really separate. Those are the issues that happens in that relationship. When you understand that vibrations matter, your feminine energy matter, how you think matters, men pick it up. Just the same way women say that they have women's intuition. I keep saying to you guys, men have intuition too, and ours are on a higher frequency. A man can smell a woman's sex appeal. If a woman is turned on and she's highly sexual, a man can tell. So when you think you cross your legs or you think some of you are hiding it, we can tell when your breathing gets deeper. We can tell when it gets more intense. We can tell when your blood is closer to your skin. We can almost smell out your blood. We can't identify that that's what we're smelling, but we can. A lot of men don't understand that that is what's actually triggering a response from them to act as well and do stuff, but that's what's happening. And if you are a person who's red, you can literally see when she's turned on, her color changes. So we know, us men know. But when you're masculine, it means therefore you give off a masculine frequency. It means that you can be really attractive. Let's say you're an 8 or a 9 and you are masculine. It means that you're automatically putting yourself to be a 6 or 7. You're dropping your what we call the SMV, which is sexual market value. The other thing is most women do not have a right, and I'm dare saying a right, you don't have that privilege to you don't have that privilege to make such a statement or make such a decision or lead a relationship. Your job is to be as feminine as possible. Imagine you are a person who is ranked at maybe a 5 or a 6 and you're masculine. You're somewhere about a 3. If a man comes to you, he sees an ability to get sex. He can probably even tell that you're freaky. Come in, and us guys, I'm being real with you, us guys do whatever it takes to get whatever we want. And both genders do it. Because women lie a lot when they're now starting to date a guy, or they hold back a lot of information. Because they are actually better at remembering, so they know exactly what they told a guy. Men are really bad at that, so men tend to foul up a lot. Men memories aren't as good as a woman's memory because of his hippocampus. Alright, hers is bigger than his. So she has a deeper and a wider memory. Now, when men remember things at a deeper level. Like we can go into layers. Women can remember at a broader level. So when a woman says that I'm not going to submit to a guy, a man, it means therefore that she has decided I'm going to be the man in the relationship until I get a man. Now, granted, a true alpha male is able to take the most masculine woman and get her to be feminine. In fact, he doesn't really need to try. His presence and demeanor alone gives off that we're either going to fight or you're going to submit. And if we fight, you're not going to win. So she automatically senses that and she submits. The other thing that happens is that she sort of kicks up on an undertone, and then the relationship ends. And that happens most times with a man who has the ability to cancel women out and say next. You know? But I want to paint this picture for you guys to really understand how severe it is. Because 70% of women will not get married. 70%. Now, in the black race, or you would say colored race, there are more women than men. Right? I want to put this into focus. More than 51% of men are actually single. Right? And between 60 and 65% of men are actually working in the middle class. So it means that there are a lot of guys out there who are actually single, worthy, and should be given a fair chance. But women has the right to sex in a relationship, but a man has the right to enter in the relationship or having a relationship with you. Yeah, but Raquel, only 3% of men are alpha males. Now, this is a whole other video which I'm going to do, but I want to let you understand something. Women tend to want tall, dark, and handsome. In other words, women want a man who is able to be the biggest and baddest of them all, but be gentle and love only her. And a man wants a woman who is able to be the most decent and sexy of them all, but be bad and naughty and freaky only for him. That's what happens in both genders, right? When you say you want a guy who's worthy, and you're talking now about an alpha male, the question you have to ask yourself is, do you qualify to have a high value male? Do you qualify? When you rank yourself based on your physical, when you rank yourself based on your general face or beauty, when you rank yourself based on age, when you sum it up together, are you qualified to actually land and keep an alpha male, because getting an alpha male to show you attention is one thing. Are you capable of getting an alpha male to stay with you and decide to spend and invest and marry you? That is what and you see, the problem we have is that a lot of women, because women think in abundance and men think in scarcity, only 3% of men think in abundance. So because women think in abundance, what tends to happen is all women just wake up and tell themselves, I deserve the best, but you are not worth having the best. It's not possible. When you look at the statistics of not only 30% of women will get married, but also that 53% of all marriages end in divorce. And less than a third of them, like I'm talking about 15% of them, remarry. So you're talking about only 15% of women actually get married and stay married. So you're talking about 85% of women generally die alone. That's that crazy. 85% of women. Now, what do you do in a scenario like that? You have to put things in perspective. I've friends all over, and I've seen women. It's crazy. It's female hypergamy at its best. I've seen women cancel guys out of a relationship, knowing fully well that there's a probability that they will never ever get a guy like him or end up in a long-term relationship again. And because they're emotionally driven, they still go ahead. They still go ahead and cancel that relationship out, knowing fully well that there's a high probability that you will not find another man and you're going to die alone, because finding a man that is going to be interested in you for 3 months is a task by itself, because after 3 months, you really can't hide who you are. So finding a man that is able to do that, and then when you move from there to get him to find you worthy of proposing to or getting married to, and then staying married to them, it's a difficult task. Every woman wants to have a tall, dark, and handsome or high value man. But are you worthy? Having a high value man is not something easy. And a lot of women tend to, no problem, Raquel, a lot of women tend to think that they need listen, guys, I've looked at the women who have dated me, and the one thing that they all say is it's a task. Having a high value man is a job. It's not something that is easy to simply get married and be in love and walk skipping and waving hands. It's not that simple. Having a high value man is so detrimental. It's a job. It means, therefore, that you need to understand that this man is not going to be a father to kids like a normal man would be. He is going to be a man who comes in, makes some decisions, moves. He's not going to be that guy that is pushing that pram or walking up no hill or holding your hands. That's not a high value man. That's not what he's going to do. A high value man is about his purpose. He comes in, he continues on his purpose, he's focused, and he's willing to end that relationship with you if you interrupt his focus, or if you don't support his focus and help him move. If you bring stress to his life, he's going to cancel you out. A high value man is not going to play games and allow you to just test him and be over emotional or immature about stuff. He's not going to fly with, if he asks you a question and you decide you're not going to answer today because you're in a mood, he's not going to be one of those men that you are able to tell go and sleep on the couch. He's not going to tolerate you not having sex with him because you're vexed. He's going to find someone else and move you out of it. If you look through scripture, you look through history, you will see how men of high value and status has dealt with women who have attempted to play games. That's the point, that's the fact. And a lot of you women find men who are really interested in you, who are nice guys, and that's the thing, you don't want nice guys, you want the rugged guy, you want that alpha male, you want that guy who's above guys, but you won in most cases because only 20% of people are not average, and those in that 20 includes people who are below average as well. So don't think that 20 and means that everybody above 20 is better than average. A lot of those people are not average or below average. So when you get down to the nitty gritty, you're talking about 10% of guys, maybe, who are above average, and still most of them are not high value. Only 3% of men are high value. Now, a man who is high value, good looking, can actually get the pick of the crop, can date almost any woman he wants. When he walks the street, you see a copious amount of attention being given to him. You can see his physique, he keeps himself in shape, he makes the money, he runs businesses. Why would he decide that I am going to choose you, Raquel, or you, Natasha? What would be the reason or the rationale in his mind to say he's going to forego all of the other women, that, and the probability of finding somebody who is 25, 26, 27, who has an amazing physique, no kids, never married, is submissive? What would make him choose you? So having the statement, or making the statement that I am not going to submit to a man unless he's worthy, you may not be worthy to have a man that you picture submitting to. The other thing is, men are very simple, and a lot of times women don't understand their role in life, or their purpose and power in life. So when you look at saying that you're not going to submit, it simply means that you are not a female, or you're not a woman. Because it's easy for us to say what are the criteria that make a man, but if you decide that you're not going to submit, it means that you are not a true woman, you're not a wife. You understand? That's just the reality of the scenario. Unfortunately, you are not a wife. Let me ask a question. If a man decides that he's dating you, but he's only going to protect you when you are worthy of his protection. So in other words, you're not behaving like a woman should be. You're arguing every minute, you're aggressive, etc. You want to tell him how to live, how to breathe, how to do everything. And he says, I'm not going to protect you. So you walk down the road and a guy pulls at your hand and he's with you. And he just stands there and looking at you. How would you feel? If he tells you, I'm only going to protect you when you are worthy of being protected. You see, men are full-time, and men are always in the zone of being, whether he's going to get his ass kicked, but he's always in protective mood. Men understand what it is to be a man. So what tends to happen is, we don't turn it on and turn it off. But since the 60s, or even before, women have started to work, they tell themselves that they are equal. And the female hypergamy has caused, especially the black women, who have joined the feminist movement, which had nothing to do with them. Because black men will not suppressing black women. So black women, and if you have never heard a white woman in any forum say she will submit to a man who is worthy, or I've never heard them say, I'm not submitting to a guy, I'm a boss. You don't hear white women having certain conversations. In fact, these women, if you look at the men that they marry, most times they marry young in their 20s, and the men are not alpha males. And they're okay with that. You hardly would hear them saying that. But black women have this entitlement. This entitlement thing that I'm worthy. You read too much romance novels and think that some prince on a white horse is going to come and just sweep you up. You have to evaluate yourself, Raquel, and see where you position and then see what you're worthy. If you know that when you rank your face, you rank your body, and your sexual market value is somewhere between 4, 5, or 6, you have no business in telling or saying that you will submit to a man who is worthy of leading you. No man is going to be motivated to want to lead you. In other words, you are almost at a position where you take what you get. Otherwise, die alone, go and buy a dog or a cat or a parrot, based on if you like to talk. That's just the sad reality. When you analyze your ability to reproduce and have kids, that's a whole other problem. It means that your sexual market value is at an all-time low. So then, for most times, I'm just putting the picture out there because these are statements that you, Raquel, and many women have heard say this, that I'm only going to submit to a man who is worthy. And most times, most women are not worthy. Let me ask you women a question. When you remove sex from the table, what is it that a guy is going to get? No, Raquel. If you're saying that you're only going to submit to a man who is worthy, you're not trying. Because women have superpowers. A woman's job is to elevate a man and build that man up to what he's supposed to be to face the world. You guys want men who are already made, and only 3% of the men in this world comes at a vantage point of being alpha males. Only 3%. And those guys normally would date young 20-something-year-olds, supermodel type women. I mean, just look at who the 3% men have been. Look at Idris Elba's wife. Look at Boris Kodjoe's wife. Just look at the wives that these guys have. You know, just look at Dwayne Wade's wife. Look at them and you will see. Look at LeBron James's wife. And you will see that these guys who have the ability to get and over women will not choose a woman who is older, not as attractive, low SMV. They don't. They simply don't. That's not a problem, Raquel. You guys need to understand the sad reality that as a woman, your power is between the age of 18 and 28. After that, you are entering that zone that is going to be dangerous. It's really dangerous. And when you hit that age of 40 to 45, and I'm going to 45 because some women have the ability to extend their time because of how appealing and sexy that they are. That's why some women can have 3 years or three kids, and you will find that because some women actually look better after they have kids, you'll find that men will still go at them because they are able to attract men because they, 1, they are feminine, 2, they are drop dead gorgeous, 3, they are taller and more attractive, and 4, they are feminine. Understand? It is always going to be a scenario where it's scary for women because of the mindset that women brings to the table. But when you remove sex out of the whole equation for with regards to a man, let's be honest. How many women can simply say that they have something that a man would need from them that he can't get somewhere else? And what would that be? Because if you're talking about being able to cook, if you're talking about having a good heart, men will not keep you because you can cook or have a good heart. That's not the reason he keeps you. Because he can find a 27-year-old that is able to be mature, have mature conversations, not over emotional. Don't think outside of herself and jump out herself with her thoughts, and is able to support him and stand by him, but at the same time be a total freaking bed and give him at least 3 to 4 children. Because high value men also want kids. So when you say that you are able to, you're going to submit to a man who is worthy of your respect, who are you actually talking about? Because all of you can't get them. And most times, most of you, especially ones who say that, aren't able to get that. Because I'll tell you why. If a woman is able to get a high value man, it means that she would be getting the attention of those high value men, and or she's already in a relationship with a man of high value. So she doesn't have to say something like that. So as I hear a woman say that if I will only submit to a guy I already know and I'm looking at them, I can evaluate them. Okay, you're overweight, you're old, okay, you were married and divorced, oh, you're not able to have children, oh, you already have 3 children, so you're not married, so you're a baby mama. Oh, you were married and had 3 children while married with the same man. Oh, that's not as bad. You're not a baby mama, you're a single mother. And there is a difference there, guys, between a single mother and a baby mama. A baby mama is someone who had children outside of marriage. A single mother is a woman who was married, had children, and is now divorced. So she's now single and she's a mother of 3 or mother of 2 out of marriage. It's not the same. Those terms do not interchange. Some people would try to interchange it, but it's not interchangeable. So, Raquel, I empathize with how you feel about it. What I like is the fact that you are real. I like the fact that you are real. And unfortunately, I can tell that there's a high probability that you would have either grown up with your mother alone, or you grew up in a house where your mother led the relationship and your father was not alpha. Let me know if I'm correct, but because if your father was a man who's an alpha, he would have told you some stuff already, and he would have protected you from the position that you're in here right now. Most times these things happen to women who either grew up with a single mother who is bitter, and believe it or not, guys, a lot of times you women grow up with mothers who are bitter because they weren't worthy of keeping a man either. Knew nothing about keeping a man. Right? Knew nothing about keeping a man. They were a nag, didn't really help the man, and so he left her. And those are some of your mothers who are bitter and upset and they never tell you the truth. It depends on who you were before you had a child. It also depends on your age. It depends on your overall beauty and face. It depends on how your body ranking. Those things matter. That builds your SMV and your age. So if your facial wise, based on your beauty, you are not an 8. Right? You can't use 7 because everybody want to use 7 as a comfort number. So if you are somewhere in the 6 range, you're not in shape, and you're already in your 30s, your probability of having a high value male is near to impossible. It's always possible, if just like winning lotto. But how many women you know in that using those same criteria is that have been able to land a high value male in their 30s, not in shape and not really gorgeous. Because a man can give up or overlook a woman not being as pretty as another woman if her body is in tip-top shape and she looks amazing, but she's also able to submit and comply and support. Men see that and they're able to say, okay, she's not as gorgeous as Beyonce or Kelly Rowland or Jada Pinkett or whoever. But see those qualities, you see that body, speaks to me. See that sex, that body is fertile. See the support she gives me, see that food. But the problem is, you see that age, see that not being in shape, problems. Nothing is wrong with that, Shalana, but fact is, most women don't go for that. Not even you. I'm sure. So it's not what women want. If you ask a woman what they want, you hear what they say they want. They don't say they want an average guy. They actually tell you, hey, I want, and they have a list. I would suggest that most women go and revisit the list that they actually have and bring that list more in line with who they are and be able to peer themselves, because when you look at the nitty-gritty, right, you cannot get a high value man if you are not high value. So I've been in a gym and I've seen a girl who is not pretty. I would put her at maybe a 6 or 5 in face. But every guy in the gym was talking about that girl's physique and her body, how near perfect it is, how round her ass is. She looks like a sprinter or someone who plays hockey or tennis or something. And I'm not lying to you. Most of the guys would not have a problem dating her. Listen, Christine, I know you and I know your husband. You understand? And I know your husband fairly okay, fairly well. And if you were not the woman that you are to your husband, when I saw that you all were still together recently, I already knew what you just said there. You're wise. Because that man would not have been around you still if you did not do and were not the woman that you actually are. I commend you for that. You understand? It may not be a perfect marriage, but at the end of the day, I have no doubt. And because I know you on a personal level and as a friend, I can also see that you are also the type of woman who builds a man. When a man is with you, you find, and you don't push it on him down his throat and want to boss him around, but you show him ways in which you can make money, always showing him, let's do this, this would work. That's the kind of person you are, because you are a go-getter and a thinker, but you're not masculine with it. Your voice, your tonality, the way you laugh, your smile is gentle. You have never been masculine to me one day. Never. That man cannot go anywhere. And that's the thing. Men are very simple. And now you have 2 kids. You may not be as sexy and appealing as you are right now, but you are also making the effort to keep your body in shape. You are doing way above what most women do. And I commend you for that, because I am not lying to you. Most women, I actually cannot, I can think of one more. I think she was on earlier. I think it's Summer. I've seen Summer transform. I've seen Summer fight and do everything that she needs to do as a woman, as a humble woman, to her husband, understand what servitude is. And I've seen Summer in recent times. She has gotten her body back on point after 3 children. You understand? And that's the problem, Shalana. That's what we're saying. Most women, now you could want what you want, but are you capable of having an alpha male? When you look at your physique, you look at your beauty, you look at what you bring to the table, you look at your age, are you able to get an alpha male and not only get him, keep him? Why should he be with you? Why should he stay with you? And why should he marry you? That is the point. Because once you are in, as a woman, once you're in your 30s, you are already in problems. And listen, it's not me, or it's not what Rennie's saying, and that's Rennie's view on life. Doctors tell you quite clearly, when you're 35, doctors tell you what? You are now at risk. There's a reason doctors tell you that. Shalana asking him those questions mean nothing. You have to ask yourself those questions. Ask a man. I said this to you before. A man can say anything, and sometimes us men believe in what we are saying. But are you, when you evaluate yourself, you have to ask yourself, this man can get X, Y, and Z. He has so and so. He can do so and so. He's able to get so and so. Why would he choose me? What do I have that is different from a 27-year-old who has a high SMV, an amazing, near perfect body, is able to give him 3-4 children easy, not masculine, and drop dead gorgeous? How do I line up with her? What is it that I have that a man wants that she doesn't have? You have to ask yourself and really understand what it is, because if you don't, you'll just continue to go wronged and wronged, and you'll make a lot of assumptions. And at the end of the day, I've seen also a lot of women say that men are this and that, but they were not able to keep what they asked for or what they were looking for. So a lot of times it's not the man's fault. You decided to go into a territory that you were not ranked for. And so the end result is always, listen, if I have a car that I think it's fast, right? And I decide to put my car in a plane and go to head-to-head. Head-to-head is a car race, a racing that they have every year, where they put vehicles. So they call it World's Drag Race. I took that vehicle there and I put money and I bet. I say my vehicle is the shit. And we all line up, all 12 cars line up on the drag line, and then we all, when I get there, I'm smaller, I'm not as luxurious, I don't have the horsepower, I don't have the sexy shape and aerodynamics, I don't have computer, I don't even have a turbo. I have 1 exhaust, them have 6 exhausts, and I go to line up with them. And I'm there big, but because I have a hot red paint job, I think that I could go and line up next to them. And then the race starts. And I'm almost at a standstill. Those cars are gone. This example I'm giving you is what actually happens with women, you know. They don't evaluate themselves. They just think that because they are a female or a woman, they too can get what another woman gets. If you see 6, 7 women walking in a group, you see how they behave. One is actually able to really get what she wants, and the next 5 operate, act, behave as if they are all equal, you know. They act as if, I see it every day. This evening I went and run, and I'm seeing it. But I have also seen some very attractive women pass me and look at me dead in my eyes. And all I need to say was hi, stop, say something, and they would talk to me, because when a woman is looking to you direct in your eyes, they are telling you, yeah, I see you. Because women don't have to look at you in the eyes. I say this many times and you guys know that. But the majority of women who are not, and like every woman who I've seen that are not a high value woman, or not, let's say, a 8 or 9 or 10, don't look at me in my eyes because they know that they are insecure about their own look. So, but they also, female hypergamy makes it look as if they want to appear better than. So they ain't seeing me at all. But the women who actually look at me in my eyes are the ones who are like, I see you. And highly attractive. Women who are, in my experience, most times, women who are highly attractive do not behave like the ones who are not. And they don't make those statements about, I will only submit to a man who is worthy and this. They don't really make those statements. They don't experience those things. They only date high value men, so they really don't even know what it is to date someone who is not. Anytime you hear a woman say that kind of statement, it's like a female hypergamy attempting to give themselves more credit because they know that there is a probability where they are actually lacking and they want to build themselves up. You understand? I know a lot of women who are highly attractive, and I mean their bodies are amazing, and they are my friends. I've never heard one of them say that statement because they don't lack, they don't have experience. But women who are single, nobody's coming, already in their 30s or 40s, make those statements. You don't want to settle for a man unless he's worthy of you submitting to him. But the problem is not even that. The problem is not even you settling for a man who is not worthy. The problem is, are you able to get a man interested in you enough, any man, interested enough with you that he wants to stay in a relationship with you? That should be a first question. Can you do that? Because getting a man to show interest in you is not a hard thing. You have a vagina, he wants something from you. But after the sex is over, why should he stay and not choose somebody else over you? What do you possess that is going to make him stay with you opposed to someone else? So your question, Raquel, or whoever, Natasha, whoever it is, should not be, I'm not going to settle for a guy. Your statement should not be, I'm not going to settle for a guy unless he is. Your statement that should be, firstly, am I able to attract a guy that wants to stay? Are you able to? It has nothing to do with the man. It's all to do with the woman. And it's like, I was having a conversation with a friend, I think it's Shalana herself, and someone else on Facebook, and they said they want men to, what they wanted men to do? They wanted men to be their true selves when they're in a relationship or now starting to date someone. Guys, let me tell you something. It's a scientific fact. It is not what Rennie is saying. Nobody be their true selves before at least 3 months. We hide. Because dopamine levels are so high in our minds, we front, nothing is a problem, until that dopamine level starts to wear off and the honeymoon phase starts to wear off, so to call it. So nobody is their true selves. So, I mean, I hear things all the time and I try not to respond, but the fact that that person said that, was already foolish because nobody is their true selves when they now meet someone in a marriage, in a relationship. No one is. That's one. Two, if you're telling men that they need to be their true selves, I asked her, okay, are you willing to not wear makeup? Because what makeup does is make you appear more than you are. You understand? So most women that think that they are something are a 6 that can dress up to a 8. Put on a weave or a wig, you do your eyebrows, you do your eyelashes, you put on a hot red lipstick, and you put on some makeup on that face, and maybe even some contacts. So you now move from a 6 to a 7.58. That's what most women are. I don't know what poor lady, I think, is it posted on Facebook? Maybe she was. But that's what most people are. So your first question must be, evaluate yourself. I didn't even talk on her, Raquel. There are many things I could have said to her. I didn't say anything personal to her at all. Not a single word except that what she said was foolish. Listen, a person must understand that if you tell them that you said what you say is foolish, it could just simply be that what you said was foolish. It doesn't mean that your aim's a fool, you're worthless. People are too soft and too get offended too easy and too emotional. You can't say that a man should appreciate you being emotional. That's a foolish statement. It's a foolish statement. When you tell a man he should appreciate it, it means that you think that being emotional is okay. A woman should not be emotional. A woman should have emotions that makes her assess things. It's two different things. It's not the same. So the concept of people just saying, I'm a woman, so I'm emotional, it's foolish. Gets you single and alone in a house with 2 dogs and a cat and 2 parrots. That's what happens when you think that being emotional is okay. You make decisions based on emotions. So you hear emotionally, and men hear and make decisions logically. That's the truth. So don't say appreciate. You see that term? I mean, many people said good things yesterday and I just was, okay. Listen, all men are decisive and are leaders. It's just how decisive and how much of a leader. Right? Because if you look at a bridge brain man, for example, he has attributes much like a female, but he still would have the ability to make decisions. But he's going to make decisions based on authority of a woman, but he's going to make decisions as a bridge brain male. Right? And he is going to lead in the absence of his wife if he has to make decisions in the absence of her. So in other words, a car needs fixing, a tire is soft and stuff, he's going to make some decisions. Women tend to not know what to do in certain situations. So men do that. What you are seemingly wanting is a man who is the ultimate leader and the ultimate decision maker, who is masculine highly. That's not something you may be able to get or keep. And if that is the case, when you evaluate yourself, then why is it that you think that that's what you need? Forget what you want. What do you deserve? What do you need is what is important. Not what you want. Do you want to remain single in the absence of you not getting that man who is superior and able to make decisions and lead? Because those guys you're talking about are either CEOs, senior managers, general managers, company owners, entrepreneurs. That's who they are. So those are the guys who are more alpha. But most guys are not told in those posts. So, do you want to find a guy like that? And if you do find a guy like that, let's just even say he's interested in you. Why should he stay? Are you equal in looks with, let's just say, I don't even want to say Beyonce. Let's say Ciara. Do you have the feminine look like she does? Right? Do you have that feminine look like she does? To be able to find that guy and keep him. And are you able to have a SMV that would cause him to stay because you're able to really put him down on you? When he sees you, he's highly sexual, highly attracted to you, and you're able to give him kids. Are you able to do those things? And if not, then what is it that you think is going to happen when you do get him? Are you able to risk 2, 3, 4 years of your life at this stage for a relationship that doesn't work out? Are you able to risk getting married to this guy, let's say after a year, and him spending 3 years of your life with you and divorcing you because you are not able to keep him? Are you willing to risk that at this stage? Those are some real questions you have to ask yourself, because life will pass you by. You don't have time to make the mistakes and those decisions, or not make decisions. Like why would you stay in a relationship for 3 years? Well, great. Thank God you can assess life and see it from that perspective, Shalana. Most women don't. Most women stay in a relationship for 2, 3 years, and you know in the back of your mind it's not going to last, but you waste 3 years of your life. In fact, what is even more detrimental is a lot of women give up the most valuable thing that they have, is the ability to have a child with a man who did not think they were worthy of marrying, but they decided to give that man. So the most precious thing a man can give a woman is his time and investment of marriage. Because a man marries a woman. A woman doesn't marry a man. A man marries a woman. And when that happens, the end result is both people are married, right? And the most important or valuable thing that a woman can do is give a man a child. And I've found that many women think it's easy simply because their reproductive hormones kicks in a lot of times between 30 and 35, and they want a kid. They think that they should give it to a man who is not worthy. And then they had a baby with a man who's a low value man, but then they want to have a high value male be stepfather to the child of a low value male. Because when you have a child and you are seeking marriage, you don't want to, and you're not looking for a husband, you know. You're actually looking for a stepfather for your child, not a husband. So when a man comes, let's just say you are 8 and you have a high or medium or above average sexual market value, and this man comes and he meets you and he asks the question, why your last relationship ended? What, okay, how long into the relationship between you guys you had this child? What did he used to do? How tall was he? He starts to ask himself, so you give that man your young self when you're on your prime, you give that man your most precious commodity. And you think that me, you're older, you have a kid, your body isn't what it was, you're not as high value, your SMV has dropped significantly, your value has dropped because you have a kid, you weren't married to him. This is how guys analyze from a logical standpoint, guys. If you have a child that is for a high value man, yes, it makes a difference to a man. In fact, a low value man will easily try to be with you because of that. Because that has put a value to you. It means that for a high value man to impregnate you meant that you have value. So the flip side works against. However, if you were at 9 and you have a child in marriage, your value will drop by about 8 to about 8. So it drops like a point for every child that you have in marriage. Now, if you're 9 and you have a child outside of marriage, it means that your value will drop by at least 2 points for every child that you have. And if the man who you had the child with was low value, it drops another point again. So you could literally have been a 9, and you, after one child with a man, you're worth, and let's say you had a child in your 20s and now you're in your 30s, you are now a 6 to a man. You would have to have an amazing physique, small natural waistline on your body that snaps back to be able to have a high SM value maintained that gives you an edge by it takes you back up a point to about 7. And the only thing that gets you to the point where a high value man may want you at a 7 with those attributes, having a kid outside of marriage, but you have a high SMV because your body is amazing, is if you meet a criteria that he wants outside of the surface. So let's say, for example, you're spiritual, and he is, and you are a person that really seeks to understand God and know Bible and stuff. That may put a feather in your cap. May. If he's a foodie, and you could put down a pot, then that may help. If his love language is linked with yours, and you find that perfect edge that gives him that feeling of comfort, and he comes home to so and so, and then you may. So those are things that can happen that can help. But the point is, because this is why we were meant to be married early. From the time you reach 30 and have had 3, 4, 5 relationships, women hold on to every one of those relationships and why it ended. And they bring that to the other relationship. This is why men ask women how many people you were with. Because the more people you're with, the more compromise and more baggage you also bring. Because a lot of times, women are scarred and have not been healed, and they take that into another relationship. They take the insecurities and all of these things into it. You see, Shalana, those statements right there, the statements that you women tend to use to build up another woman. By saying that to Raquel, you could be very much lying, because if she does not see a change for the rest of her life, it means that what you just said it just was a lie. And I get it, you're trying to be supportive, but that also damages. This is what women do all the time. You women see another woman put up a photo, you know the dress wasn't her color, you know the outfit didn't fit her body type, you know the makeup was a bit too much, you know the hair color didn't match her skin tone, and you all put, and Facebook and Instagram, they put it now for you to just press, you don't even have to type, pretty, gorgeous, and all of these things, because you women tend to want to build up another woman. You understand? Yeah, but making a change, anybody can make a change. We all can in a tree, but it doesn't mean that your circumstances can change. That is what the church tries to tell you. But the church is responsible for most of the issues that we're talking and having here now. You're doing the work. You didn't do the work. You're doing it. It's still a process. But it doesn't mean that your situation changes. Because you can most times you can only change the things that you have control over. You can't change the things that you don't have control over. Like the fact that you may have a kid. Like the fact that you're older. You know? Those are things that you could do nothing about. So let's just say Raquel is out of shape, and then she decides to whip that body in shape. Then what? That's just whipping her body in shape. What about all the other things I mentioned? I know women for over a decade that have kept their body, and I see it on Instagram, I see them all the time. They keep that body in shape, skin on point, and they're able to be 10 years older, look almost the same, and still get some men's eyes to turn. How many women do that? Most times you see women put on some clothes. I've met many women in events in my 20s, and if you see what they can wear now, they cannot wear anything but some big old cloaks now, because they look nothing like. In fact, some of them almost have disappeared from the face of the earth. "45, unmarried, no kids. Are you in shape, Raquel?" I remember what you ranked yourself back, 2-3 weeks ago. So you don't need to ask that question now. But are you in what is your word? I wouldn't even say ripping form. Are you in fairly good shape? Let's use that. No, I didn't ask. So the point is, you're not in fairly good shape. So you see, Shalana, that even if she gets in shape, which is going to now take another 6 months to a year, so she'll be talking about 46. She's not able to change the fact that she's unmarried. She's not able to change the fact that she's 45. What's your height, Raquel? Don't need to know your weight. What's your height? How tall are you? And so this is why I was saying, Shalana, the idea of women trying to pop up on a woman, people need to be fair and honest in their assessment and make adjustment. I guarantee you, there either is or have been a guy in Raquel's life who wanted to be with her, really wanted to be with her, but she found every reason why he wasn't good enough. So she probably, I guarantee you, because it happens to most women, no matter how badly off you may seem, she wanted more, but didn't assess herself to know if she can get more. So look at that, Shalana. She's 5 feet. So from a height standpoint, remember I was talking about the 20%, the 80-20 rule. She's in that 20, but not for a good reason. She's not even average height as a woman. Average height of a woman is 5'6". So even if she puts on heels, she's gonna come around 5'4", 5'6". I bet you she'd want a guy who's somewhere between 5'10" and 6 feet. That's where the problem comes in, right? So I would recommend to all you women, you see the concept or that mindset of I'm not going to settle for a guy unless he's worthy. Evaluate yourself. Ask yourself, am I still in my 20s? Am I in my prime? How much more years can I wait not doing anything, sitting around before I get into a relationship? And if I do find a man, will he be the one that stays? And what do I have that is going to keep him? And if I do keep him, how long is it that he's going to take before he marries me? And if he marries me, will I have kids? Will I be able to have kids for this man? And if I don't, will he stay with me? These are questions that you must ask yourself. No matter how attractive you think you are, you're not getting older. And a lot of women I have known to take these 2, 3, 4, 5 years off with no relationships, thinking they're working on themselves. You're actually getting older because you can work on yourselves in a relationship with a guy. In fact, it's even better. Unless you have to go through therapy, you can work on yourself and get better in a relationship. This thing about women taking, you don't have that luxury to take 4 years off. Anytime you cross from your 20s into your 30s, you are now in a zone that is dangerous for you as a female. Your eggs, think about how much eggs you have dropped while you're working on yourself, so to speak. You don't know when menopause is going to happen. In fact, it happens earlier now for women. So you don't know when that's happening. You don't know how long you have. What is it that is going to make yes, you might be highly attractive, but what is it that is going to make a man decide to choose you over somebody 10 years younger? Because there are women who are younger, 25 and stuff, who are very mature and in ripping form and are humble, and they don't talk about willing to submit only to certain kind of men. They are submissive, very feminine. In fact, women in their 20s are more feminine than women in their 30s and 40s. So why should he choose you? No matter how attractive you think you are, you can get him to date you. You can get him to be in a relationship with you long time. But will he marry you? Do you have the ability to make a decision? Because you don't control relationships, ladies. You control sex. That's it. That's why when you meet a man, you want him to take you out and whatever, because you want him to invest time. And then after a while, what you self come back and ask is, where is this going? Because he is the person who decides if this goes into a relationship or not. He decides that in most cases. And if it goes into a relationship, he decides, is this going to last? Should it last or not? So when you think you end relationships, you actually end it because he was already turned off. I caution you, woman, against that statement. I will choose to submit only to a guy who is worthy. Are you worthy? Is the question. For any man, and then if so, what man am I worthy of? And move from there. Get off of this high horse, get off of this hypergamy about who you think you should submit to and stuff, and simply focus on what it is you need, not want, you need in your life at this time, and how you're going to get it. All right. So, by the way, I want you guys to know that this merchandise, me and Olio we have some t-shirts now that are on sale. They will be posted on my website, eCaribbean Online, from as early as weekend. You can get them in red, white, and black. You can get them in V-neck, baby tees, or long neck. You have me and all you have me and them, and you have keep your mouth closed. We are going to put out at least 2 more phrases that I say generally on some merchandise so that you can represent and we can all be part of a family. All right, so if you're interested, just holler at me. I'll get your sizes and stuff. I'll direct you how to get it and we deliver it to you. So you know, for you women who are on that journey to get in shape, you can get the keep your mouth closed, or keeping my mouth closed t-shirt that shows that you know you're on that journey to whip that body in shape. All right, so you have baby tees, round neck, v-neck, red, white, and black. So you tell us what you want and we'll get it to you. All right, like, share, comment, subscribe. This video is going to be posted on Instagram as well as on Facebook as well as YouTube tonight. You can share it with your friends. Actually, if you want to talk, holler at me sometime tomorrow and let's have that conversation. All right. I will start to charge soon. I'm not charging before July, but I will start to charge for sessions in the coming months. All right. So take it while it's free now. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. See you on Friday night on Facebook Live.